I'm unaware of any lengths, any personal price that I wouldn't gladly pay for us to avert ecocide. In fact, I want to pay everything I have, which is the ultimate price, not because I have some death wish, but if your goal is something that you know is immensely expensive, the health of your child who's deathly ill, or in my case, the health of my 204 billion children who are on death watch, torture watch. Your readiness, your desire is to see how to pay everything you have to get that virtually impossible goal, right? That's all this is. I want to see how to pay everything I have. And this has been my situation for a decade now. Ready, fire, aim. That phrase is from one of Tom Peters' books. Peters being the greatest organizational development consultant of all time, probably. I don't recall which of his books, Thriving on Chaos, maybe, extensive studies of organizations that had been successful over the long term. Ready, fire, aim. The successful organizations, he said, are not ones that sit around and plan and plan and plan and plan. The successful organizations are not one that knee-jerk run off and do things. The successful organizations are ones that plan, using their highest faculties, their vision, intuition, creativity, responsibility. Pick the most promising direction and sprint in that direction, but with their eyes wide open, realizing that only sprinting off in that direction can they gain the additional insight, input that they need to confirm that they're on the right path or to replan. And so it's been for me for my adulthood, 25 years or so, turning around failing organizations in the computer industry, and for the last 12 years trying to figure out how to breathe life into a culture on its deathbed, determined to continue on that deathbed till it's completely dead, affluholic, the key symptom of which is it will kill rather than have the affluholism lifted and sanity instilled. This will continue to be my approach, ready, fire, aim, as I desperately try to see what almost no one besides Diane Wilson, Bob Lindsay, a few others, but they're hard to name, relentlessly try to get a foothold, to see if it's the way, to see if it's the path, to go as far down that path, risking everything, putting everything on the line, paying any price personally, praying to confirm that it's the right path. But these aren't martyrs. These aren't people seeking to pay a price. They're seeking at any price to achieve a brighter outcome for our children and for creation. I'm always, at every second, as long as I've got a breath, open to a new and better way, open to seeing that I've been mistaken in my approach, or that something new has popped up. My ultimate goal, the one thing I do not bend on, is that what I live for, what you should live for, because it's clinically health, is for our children, all of them. Biologically, that's why you and I are here. Everything that is a divergence from that is mental, spiritual illness, clinically. Look at my site, Start Loving, Google it if you want more detail on that. Kohlberg, Erickson, who pretty much has the definitive writings on human development, generativity being the adulthood stage, devotion to the well-being of the next generation. We are so sick, we are so far from what's clinically healthy. Alfred Adler, his writings, Viktor Frankl, we are so on our deathbed, and our children are the victims that have a right to something better. Well, I've regained much of my health, and it will continue to be that every breath I have will be devoted to the well-being of our children for the joy of it, for the second-by-second joy of it. That will always be the one thing that won't change with me. Strategy, tactics, in a nanosecond, as soon as I see a better way, or that the way I'm on is not the best way for our children. And I'm reevaluating this death fast. It's clear to me that it was the right thing to go on. Nonviolence, nonviolent action, what is that? It's heart massage. Far and away the best one-line description of nonviolence, nonviolent action. It's heart massage. Its job is to restart the heart and then the hearts of the bystanders in a morally abhorrent situation. Think about it. Think about any successful, important, unviolent campaign that you know of that has brought substantial, lasting success. It's heart massage. The salt marchers marching on the salt works in India, getting clubbed. It was heart massage. It was heart paddles on the hearts of millions of onlookers around the world. And it started those hearts. Look at Tahrir Square in Egypt. It was heart massage. Look at Alice Paul and her 200 sisters on hunger strike for women's rights in 1917, 1918. When it hit the news, it was a jolt to the heart. It was heart paddles. It was heart massage. That's what unviolent action done properly, done with promise, is. I don't know. Is it manipulation to try and restart someone's heart? The naysayers would say so. It's not manipulation. It's humanity. It's solidarity. It's brotherhood. It's sisterhood. And as more and more I understand what my nervous system has been yanking me to do for over 10 years now, it's to be what society needs from you and me, to be heart massage, first our own hearts. And in doing so, we become heart massage for others. Well, this death fast, now on day 16, I think, was the right thing for me to do. All of a sudden, there were two things. A minuscule critical mass of heart massagers. The greatest activist on the planet, Diane Wilson. Bob Lindsay with her on early day 30s of hunger strike when I joined them in sympathy, or in support, not sympathy, support. Chief Teresa Spence in Canada, and a co-worker, also indigenous, from the west coast of Canada. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. In the mid-20 days on hunger strike. A critical mass of heart massagers. And the population beginning to show signs of standing up, in which I have maybe my only hope, but my most hope, and that is the planet's indigenous peoples. They're the most victimized by our insane, criminally insane, criminal use of fossil fuels. And they were our most humane, and probably still are, the least detached from creation, from the Creator of all of us. Signs of them beginning to stand up in the form of idle no more. It's been a terrific use of my time these last 16 days. Terrific. But is the 17th day the best use of my being? I hope so. I'd rather not switch, but I'm having my doubts. Correctly, Diane and Bob have stopped their hunger strike, and you must read the article. There'll be a link at the bottom of this video and blog post. You must read that article. It's the most important article I recall seeing on nonviolent action and our current situation since articles on Rachel Corrie being crushed to death by the right-wing Nazis in Israel 10 years ago. It's a must-read. They rightly stopped. As a white man in D.C., I don't know that I can reach our indigenous brothers and sisters, that my work can have any meaningful impact on them. There was a glimmer of hope. There's a wonderful sister, Blue Sky Woman Cree, who was and is and will be a wonderful sister in this fight. She's been giving some visibility to my work, but there's every indication that it's had no impact beyond that. So is it right for me to risk this avatar of mine, this body, when there's no evidence that it's having or will have any impact? If that's my conclusion, if that's what I conclude today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, no, this avatar isn't to be thrown away, nor is it to be protected at all costs. It's to be used for our children, and if and when it's right for it to be paid in full, the ultimate price paid. I yearn for that day, because it's going to take thousands of us offering to pay the ultimate price, and if necessary, paying the ultimate price. It's going to take thousands of us to stop an industry going after $20 to $40 trillion in fossil fuel reserves. Right? 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 Right. And that in and of itself won't do it, thousands of us, but those thousands will ignite the hearts of millions and billions, because this is just so utterly morally abhorrent. What's lacking is the relative handful of us being the heart paddles, being the heart massage. Someone doing CPR, they don't stop after the first 5 or 10 pushes. Nor do they go beyond a point where it is clear that it is not going to resuscitate the body. Actually, they might go beyond that point. But how far? Probably minutes, but not hours, certainly not days. And so it is with me. And when they're unable to save one with that heart massage, do they then abstain forever? No. They look for the next time to apply those skills, and then they do it as long as needed, hopefully to revive the body. And if not, to stop and try and apply those skills to the next opportunity. And so it is with me. So I don't know how this is going to play out. I expect in the next day or so to apply myself to a study of online articles on the Idle No More movement. To see where it stands, to see if I think there's promise. If I think there's significant promise, if I think it's more than the easy, low-price activism of people that are not yearning to pay the ultimate price if they can find an effective way to do that, then I'll stop. If it looks promising to me, then I'll explore whether there are ways that my effort can become more encouraging of them, or encouraging of them at all, or inspiring to them at all, as it does not seem to be so far. And if so, I will joyfully continue. If not, I'll stop. I expect to, next week in either case, resume my arduous, demanding, health-impacting vigil in front of the Canadian Embassy, going on 8 months now, near 24 hours a day, except for restroom breaks. If I stop, I'll consider the chemotherapy, if there's a way I can do it, being away from the vigil only a day or so a week for the chemo and for the deadly sickness that might occur the next day, or deathly sickness. I don't know. If you think these are the wrong considerations, please let me know. Comment on my blog. Google Start Loving. That's where I would look for them. Or email me, start_loving@yahoo.com. If you have any comments that you think are constructive to this, pro or con, please share.